In this video, I travel from Monument Valley all the way to Moab. But first, I stop at the Bluff Museum in southern Utah. And this fine young gentleman gives us a history lesson on southern Utah. I did not know anything about it, and he was gracious enough to get on camera and give us a whole history lesson on southern Utah. Then I go to Moab, and the next day we hike Arch National Park, where I hike the delicate arch and get almost flooded out by a flash thunderstorm that moves in before I can get in my car and leave.
All right, I think I got plenty of views of this area. I was gonna go down that road, but man, that's a long, rocky road all the way to, yeesh. It looked like a run. And it's all pretty much the same view, right? We gotta hit the road and see some other stuff. So that's what we're doing. So it came into Bluff, Utah, and said it was established in 650 AD. So I think I need to stop and see how that's possible. Yeah. So I passed a sign that said this place was established in 650 AD. Is that right?
That's Bluff City's
They're
sign.
because the Anasazi settled here about that time, and so they said it was settled then, but it's not modern day.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, wow, boy, I got to figure out how that works.
Yeah, it's the Anasazi people they were talking about that settled it back then.
So do they still have structures from 650 AD here, or?
Some of the ruins could be that old, yeah.
Okay.
So, but there are lots of pictographs and pictographs and lots of old ruins all over the Southwest.
Wow.
From those people, so long time ago.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
And so the map is, where are we? Oh, we're here.
Yeah, we're right over there. Let's see. So these people came from the west side of Utah, all the different settlements over the west side of Utah.
Okay.
And they met right here at Escalante, and from Escalante to Bluff is about 250 miles. And they were told, well, you can just go straight across instead of going clear down into Arizona or up in the north end of Utah and back down. But they were called to come over here and settle and befriend the Native Americans, mostly Navajos, but Utes and Paiutes. Anyway, they said, oh, it'll take you 6 weeks to do that. And 6 months later, they finally made it here. But they left in the end of September, and they only made it here at Christmas time. And then it took them 6 weeks to build a road down in the canyon, and I'll show you another picture of that. So this is the Colorado River Gorge. It's 1,300 feet drop.
Oh.
And so
Yeah, I noticed just on the drive, coming up 163,
Yeah.
all this land is very rugged.
yeah, and it gets more rugged as it comes up this way. They could have gone down into Arizona and back around because there was a ferry, the Colorado River Lee's Ferry, down in Arizona, but they had over 1,000 head of cattle with them too, and they knew that the natives would not appreciate all their cattle eating any of the grazing that they had in
Yeah.
that desert. So they decided to come here, but it took them 6 weeks to build a road down there. Most of these people were immigrants from England and Wales, and got one guy from Denmark that came across. But there was about 260 people, so I think there's about 40 wagons and over 1,000 head of cattle.
Did they trade mostly? They're mostly just cattle ranchers?
Yeah, when they got here, and I think this little information over here tells you that they were got to be some of the wealthiest people in the Southwest at one point because they're cattle ranching. But when they first got here, they were poor as paupers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a really neat area. Just the geography changes
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, I mean, this still today, there's about 35 miles here that's just rugged. You can go do it in four-wheel drive, or ATVs or something. It takes usually 2 or 3 days to do that 35 miles because it's so darn rough.
This is probably a really pretty road, 276
It is.
going up.
And then this goes on over to, where is it? Anyway, the western side of Utah. And this goes up in the high mountains up past here. Really pretty drive. Where are you from?
I'm from Washington State.
Okay.
I'm on my way back from San Carlos. So I'm just kind of, I've never been through Monument Valley, you know, spent the night last night in Monument Valley, and I've never been to Moab. So I was heading to Moab, and I just I stopped here.
Did you get to go to Goosenecks?
I just drove by Mexican Hat. I didn't really explore much.
Yeah, there's about 1,000-foot drop down into the river from the Goosenecks. You can look down in there, but you can see how windy that San Juan River is right there.
Yeah.
And then right up here, you climb up another switchbacks, and it's another 1,000 feet. So you can, at one point, you can see the river 2,000 feet up.
Yeah, I saw this turn. I mean, obviously, I just kept going.
Yeah, there's Bridges National Monument. It's got three great big bridges, natural bridges up there. Just amazing rough country.
Yeah. So the water from the San Juan comes back up here in the north.
From the Colorados.
Oh, it does?
Yeah, up in the Colorado mountains.
Okay.
So, I mean, same thing with Colorado River, but it comes up quite a bit further, probably.
And there must be tributaries that come out of these mountains up here. It looks like they're high.
They are, but there's no big rivers.
Not enough snow to support many streams.
Yeah, I think Bajo's 11,000 feet is the highest peak on the Bajos, and there's only about 10,500. This is the Elk Mountain right here. So it's not really super high, and most of the drainage goes north. But when Blanding was settled, they didn't have hardly any water because there's no big tributaries that come down off the mountain anyway. So they got up on the mountain, and they decided they could build or do a tunnel through the mountain because there was a big stream on the north side of the mountain. So they did about a mile-long tunnel. Took them about 40 years. They'd run out of money, but it was.
Was that in the 1800s?
It was in the early 1900s when that happened.
Like 20s, teens.
Yeah. I think they started in like 2013, and it went to 2040 before they finished, because they'd keep on running out of money. But just spirit level, and they did it from both sides of the mountain too. But when they got through, they were only just a few inches up off height-wise, and about 6 feet side by side. But they could hear each other pounding, and so they pounded through and were able to get that. So that's how come Blanding exists right now, is because we have the tunnel, some of that water from
from the river that they were trying to access. Yeah, it's neat how much, it's amazing how much Colorado feeds this area.
It is.
For water.
Yeah, and we love to go over Colorado because it's got so much water over there.
Yeah, the Rockies get so high there.
So dry, yeah. Yeah, Colorado's got, what, 50 peaks over 15,000 feet?
Yeah, I'm not sure about the numbers, but I know I've been over the Rockies a couple of times, and it's a beautiful drive, but you can see how big and extensive it is. There's just a lot of river systems and peaks there on top.
And springs and everything else all over. At least west Colorado. We go over to Durango and up to Silverton and Ouray. We've got a bunch of springs and stuff up, hot springs too. So lots of water over there. This has just been an amazing story that these people they got right to here. They left in September, end of September, and they thought it'd take them 6 weeks to get over here, and they were only here at Christmas time. It took them 6 weeks to build the road down there,
Did they carry most of their water, do you know, or were they able to find water on the way?
It was in the winter, and they, I think they had to dig some wells, just 3 or 4 foot deep, and you'd end up with some water. And it's probably a good thing it was wintertime. If it would have been summertime, they would have probably all died of thirst. But
Yeah.
there was enough grass and stuff for the cattle that they could find for the cattle. And
Yeah, water in the cattle would have been a major thing too.
if they would have crossed any time, but let's see, it would have been in January, end of January when they crossed there. Colorado was really slow there. When they got back over here to the San Juan River, it was springtime and it was running really fast, so they couldn't follow the river up. They had to come down here right at the Comb Ridge and then make a trail back up here, and that took them several days to get up there. This is a representation of San Juan Hill, their last big
Oh,
seven spans of horses to get up there.
oh.
Yeah,
I love this picture up here.
that's Comb Ridge. And that's anywhere from 300 to 800 feet high. No way to get up over that, so that's how come they had to go clear down to the river.
Right. Yeah, you're not going to take anything over the top of that.
No. Yeah, this is the actual road that goes up there. Doesn't look very steep right there, but
I'm sure it is.
when you start climbing it, it's pretty steep.
Have you hiked it before?
Yeah, it's just about 8 miles west of, but it's a kind of a 4-wheel drive road to get over to it. You leave the highway and about 3 or 4 miles up to the road to get up to it.
So yeah, what's the safe was I think the fake dynamite on the bottom.
So this guy, I can't remember his name, Fred Starr, came in here as a outlaw, and he hid out here in the store till everybody was gone, and then he put the dynamite under the safe, but he didn't get far enough away, so he blew the whole store up, the safe, and himself. So
Oh.
so they just rebuilt this in 2013.
Oh.
And it was amazing because they had cranes and everything else to do it. And I don't know how those pioneers did it. They didn't have any machinery
Yeah.
back then.
But what year did this happen?
This was
1882?
Yep, 1899.
Oh, okay. So it hadn't been open for that long before someone came in and blew it up.
They came in 1880 is when they got here.
Hmm.
Let's see, where does it say? Somewhere it says on there that some of the people here end up being some of the wealthiest people in the West because of their cattle. Being
Wow.
cattlemen.
So and they just rebuilt the store for the sake of the museum.
Yeah,
Was that what was here before? Was there a building here before? Or was it just an empty lot?
it was just empty, just completely.
So you probably grew up just seeing an empty lot.
You can see quite a few of these old pioneer homes, and they're built with the same kind of rock and stuff. There's quite a few. I think there's Oh, that just tells about the fort. There's a flag.
Oh, all the different historic areas.
There's one that just says Bluff, and it tells all the historical sites in all of Bluff, all the different houses and stuff that they end up building.
That's a really cool picture.
This poor lady, her husband was helping take the rest of the wagons down, and they forgot about his wagon and his family. So he made it up the top, and they just says, well, I guess they're not coming. So she got in the back and was drugged almost the whole way down because it was so darn steep. They usually had several men behind there and several horses to keep the wagons from going crazy.
So this is a recreation of a real event.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. That was really cool. He was really friendly and was eager to tell the history of this place. I guess there's buttons on each one of these cabins that you can push and it'll tell some of the story. I don't think we're going to go through and do all that. But there's the water wheel he was talking about. We got water now. Pretty neat. Do not drink. Good idea. I thought about that. There's a piggy. Oh, you can pan for gold. Nice. I had a couple of, $3,000 nuggets in there for people to find. I'd get people coming. We gotta go see who this guy is, and then I think we're gonna skedaddle. John Taylor, colonizer, religious leader. Love one another and work the works of righteousness, and look after the welfare of all, and seek to promote the happiness of all. That is what God is doing. That's for sure. Off to the next spot. I'm at the Bowen Motel in Moab. So it was raining earlier, and so I didn't go out this morning, and I needed the rest anyway. After so many days of travel and editing video and doing so many things, I just needed to stop and take an extra day somewhere to do laundry, and it's cleared up, so I think we're gonna go out to Arches. And they said that I needed a reservation and a time stamp to enter. So I guess they let you in if you don't know, but if you come back in, look at the rocks. It's so cool. I gotta get online and make a timed reservation? I don't know. See the mountains just south of Moab there. I think it's south of Moab. Beautiful. other words that I should use other than wow? Spectacular. Amazing. So beautiful. It's like the rocks are like windswept, and you can see all the holes. That has to be bird habitat, right? Up there. Maybe there's an arch over there at the stop. We're gonna keep going. So I got a national park pass when I went to Red Rock. So it's $80 a year now, which I had no idea it was that much. And I think, well, it pays for itself as long as you go to 3 parks in a year, 3 national parks. Because all these national parks now want $30 for every private vehicle. So, ooh, pretty. If it's worth it, you know, if you can make 3 national parks in a year, it pays for itself, because that's $90. And even if you go into the same park twice, that's $60. You know, so, you know, if you live close to a national park that has good trails, just get the pass. And I know it's gone up over the years, because I don't think that, obviously it's national park takes a lot of maintenance. You got restrooms and other things that have to be taken care of, and I don't think they're getting as much support from the local governments or the our national government, so they've just had to raise rates. Look at that clumped pile of rock. Looks like a rock troll just left a big poo. Maybe that's what all this is, right? I mean, maybe they're wrong, and they're wrong about the geology. This is all just rock troll poop. Maybe that's what this, yeah. Never thought about that. I mean, why not? Why is that not possible? It's all kind of clumped together. Ugh, yuck. Balanced rock. For obvious reasons. There's more than one of them. You can see that one far in the distance. I wonder if you could get up there and push it over. Probably not. I wonder if people have tried. I don't know how you guys can see that over there, but it kind of looks like that place where the Hulk jumped into, and they tried firing rockets at him in the first Hulk movie. Yeah, and then they just kind of blew the whole thing to smithereens to bury him. I don't know. Did they give us any pertinent information? How far is the hike? Length 3 miles. Oh, might as well do it, right? Delicate arch. Just do it. Made it to the top of the first rise, and then it kind of come over. Looks like it maybe goes back down. But I've seen some ants. Oh boy, like there's one. Yeah. Oh, there's another one. If you guys can see that hill where you're getting ready to climb, all those people up there, like pilgrims, heading up the hill to reach enlightenment. I don't know. Hopefully that happens. That'd be good. I can't really see the rest of the hill or as many people that are coming up, but pretty good little jaunt. It's gradual though. Enlightenment. Knowing that you'll only do that once a day. Yeah. There's a critter. I think it's a squirrel squeaking. It is a squirrel. Is he barking at us? Hey, buddy. Come here. Yeah. What's he doing? Are you just mad? What's the matter? I don't got any nuts for you. Yeah. This is pretty cool. There's an arch. Ooh. It's a nice breeze out. This would be rough in mid 90s or 100 would be too much. Hi.
You made it!
Is this it?
Yeah.
This is it, just around the bend.
Oh.
Good luck, bud.
That was it, huh?
It's nice, man. A lot of people, though.
Yeah. Never miss a free meal. What you doing, buddy? It looks delicate. Pretty cool. Somebody went down there to pick up trash. That's super cool. Oh, the crow up on top. It starts to drop off here. Not too bad though, you could climb down that pretty easy. hear thunder. Probably see some lightning here. That just moved in since I went up to the top. You can see the parking lot down there. And this is the spot where I was watching everybody come up. I'm guessing if you went to the top of that hill, you could see the arch. But the trail takes you just that way. And then you go around. It's perfect weather. There's people heading up the hill. As this thing was blowing in, I'm like, good luck. Like, oh yeah, I think we'll be fine. Yeah, it's a perfect time to call it quits, go back and take a shower. Totally sucked. I just tried coming all the way down. I tried to take footage to see if I could get one, but yeah, this is pretty cool. See you guys back on the Here's a pretty good look. It's almost stopped raining of the drive kind of just before you start heading back down. Maybe those guys will get some saving grace up there. It'll blow over on them. I can't imagine what it would be like if it stayed like that for very long. Coming all the way down that hill, it'd be pretty rough. And the rocks really are pretty porous, so I don't think it would get slick. I didn't feel any slick rocks coming down.